Alrighty. So we've got 6 people in the house. Awesome. Thanks very much for joining us. So a little bit, Wednesdays are much more, or Tuesday for you, depending on where you are. Obviously for Matt and I, it's Wednesday. But Wednesdays tend to be much more loose, much more floaty and free. So the Sunday streams are where we look at cloud security, cloud news. We look at what's going on in the industry via Hacker News, etc. But on Wednesdays, it's a bit more floaty, a bit more up in the air. I'm still sort of defining the structure and so on and so forth. So what we'll do today is we're going to look at this public cloud services comparison link. So, was that Julio? Did you post that? I don't remember. I'd need to organize the channels a bit better. I feel like they're a bit messy. Yes, it was Julio. Thank you very much, Julio, for posting that. Appreciate it. All right. So let's have a look. There we go. So that should be pretty clear for you. Shouldn't have any issues seeing that at all. Let's have a look. Public cloud services, the comparison. Okay. So we can see straight away it's open source. Edit this page on GitHub. I like that. It's got a good amount of stars. Made by someone called, let's see who it's actually made by. See who it's made by. Ilyas. What does that mean? Maybe slow to respond. Oh, okay. India. Awesome. Cool. Let's check it out. Right. So it's obviously broken down from left to right. We've got category, we've got service, and then we've got the actual provider itself, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, IBM Cloud, Oracle Cloud, and Alibaba Cloud. So for this one, I'm going to make myself tiny, because I think that's probably best just for this one. And then, well, actually, what if I go bigger? Yeah, let's, might affect some of the text a little bit, but let's actually do that. Link, so you pop in there. Welcome back, mate. Appreciate you joining us today. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so we've got category computer service, shared web hosting. All right, shared web hosting, AWS Amplify. All right, Azure App Services, Firebase. Is Firebase? Oh, I thought Firebase was a compute shared web. I thought Firebase was a database. Is it actually can you actually host a full website on it, can you? Yeah, and I guess it can do website as well. I thought it was a database, but clearly, okay, Firebase hosting provides fast and secure hosting for your web app, static and dynamic content, and microservices. Okay, Firebase hosting is production-grade web content hosting for developers. With a single command, you can quickly deploy web apps and serve both static and dynamic content to a global CDN. Wow, okay. So is that similar to, what's it called? Cloudflare Functions, is it? Where you can run functions on the CDN sort of endpoints. It certainly sounds that way. Cloudflare Workers, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Matt. I think that's probably what this is quite similar to, I think. Firebase hosting the production. Yeah, okay. Serve content over a secure connection. The modern web is secure, obviously, zero configuration, fine. Host static and dynamic content plus microservices. Firebase hosting supports all kinds of content for hosting, from your CSS and HTML files to your Express.js microservices or API. Okay, let's see what can you do with Firebase hosting. Let's have a look at this. I'm interested to jump straight into what you can do. If it supports Go, then this might be something I look at for a certain project. Let's have a look. Better understand your site. Yeah, automatic continuous deployment with cloud build, customize everything. Error pages, rewrites, localized content headers, caching, CDN behavior. Look, man, no commands. Love it. All right. Deep integration with other Firebase services. Okay. Create a custom deploy. Interesting. You add SDKs in reverse. Very, very nice. Cloud Functions. Is that very similar? That looks like it's a different product entirely, or maybe it's part of it. Okay. Did that load? No. Cloud Functions, Firebase serverless framework that lets you automate. Okay. So Firebase then seems to be the whole sort of holistic overview of the whole solution. Because I originally, maybe I'm thinking of something else with Firebase. I thought it was just a database, but that's really nice. I really like that. The equivalent, I guess, is AWS Amplify. Hosting continuous deployment. That's Amplify is just for static though, which is interesting. Monitoring how it works. Amplify delivers static hosting web apps using Amplify products and tools. Connect your repository, configure build settings, and deploy your app. Amplify deploys your app directly from the Amplify console to a globally available CDN. Okay. It's all three are AIO app serving. Firebase web hosting services. Oracle Cloud doesn't even have an option. Simple application server. Let's have a look at Alibaba Cloud. It's not really something I can take serious, to be honest, but a single server-based service for application deployments, security management, O&M monitoring, and more. Okay. That's interesting that they just list the prices like that. One core, blah, 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 blah. Okay, most popular images. Okay. Package comparison. So I guess that's sort of similar. All right. Interesting. Very interesting. What is next on the list? Computer virtual server. Okay. So EC2, virtual machine, compute engine. IBM Cloud has a lot here. Classic virtual server. Virtual server for VPC. Power systems virtual servers. VMware shared server instance. VMware dedicated vCenter service, or a HyperProtect virtual server. Okay. Oh yeah, all right, all in one, yeah. So I guess IBM Cloud there, pushing out multiple options. So be interested to see if the VMware crowd are very much primarily looking at IBM Cloud. Let me just, one thing I want to check out with IBM Cloud is where their regions are. The DevOps guy says, welcome to the stream, welcome back. Web hosting and development on IBM, solution product cloud. I would like to know what their sort of cloud status, what their regions are. Let's have a look. Active locations. Well, they've got a lot of services, guess just like everyone else. Let's have a look. Locations. What's this? Docs, containers. Right, okay. You can deploy IBM Cloud Kubernetes service clusters worldwide. Okay, so they've got 3 in Australia. It's obviously what concerns me. Canada, United States, data center, metro, country. They have geography, country, okay, metro, and then data center. So that's how they divide it up. Okay, that's fair enough. So they've got Sydney, and then they've got Sydney 1, 4, and 5. They must have deleted 2. Maybe it didn't work out, but they just seem to delete 2 and just jump straight to 2 and 3. All right, fair enough. All right, that's pretty global presence there. That's pretty cool. So single zone classic clusters only. So they've got a few South America there and a multi-zone. And they've got a lot of single zone classic clusters over in Asia. Interesting. All right. What's next on the old list here? Bare metal server. So Amazon equivalent to that is EC2 bare metal instance. Azure bare metal servers, large instance only for SAP HANA. Okay, so you can only use that one product, which I believe is a database product. I believe that's what that is. I'll double check that. Confirm my theory there. Where are we? Search the web. In-memory database. Wow, okay. That's literally all it's for. Okay, fair enough. What is so Google Cloud doesn't offer any bare metal stuff at all. IBM does, Oracle does, and Alibaba does. Interesting. Okay. So a virtual dedicated host. All right. Amazon EC2 dedicated host. AWS Nitro Enclaves. I was checking this. I checked this one. I'm thinking of using this. Yeah, sure. We can look at that. Paperless NG. Yeah, no worries. We can look at that. So Nitro Enclaves. What is this? Create additional isolation to further protect highly sensitive data within EC2 instances. Okay. This is interesting. Enclaves enables customers to create isolated compute environments to further protect and securely process highly sensitive data, such as PII, so like PCI DSS stuff, healthcare, financial, intellectual property data within their Amazon EC2 instances. Nitro Enclaves uses the same Nitro hypervisor technology that provides CPU and memory isolation for EC2 instances. Okay, so you can reduce your attack service for the most sensitive data processing applications. There are no additional charges for using Nitro Enclaves other than the use of EC2 instances. Right. So you can isolate them further. Why wouldn't you just do this by default, though? There must be some limitations that get introduced or problems. Maybe something gets taken away when you go this route. I'd have to look into that further. Interesting. Enables customers to create isolated compute environments to further protect securely. Uses the same, you're right, independent kernel. AWS Nitro Enclaves has its own kernel that is separate from the parent instance's kernel. The kernel of your parent instance has no access to the enclave. I'm trying to work out if this is just the default anyway. Create additional, get started with AWS Enclave. I think that's correct. No. All right. Anyway, I'll log into some other point. Interesting. All right. I might check that out, actually. I'm going to load that up again. So Azure Dedicated Host, sole tenant node, which is in beta, dedicated virtual servers infrastructure, dedicated virtual machines, and dedicated host. Okay. So most of them got that. So high performance computing, it seems that AWS is the only one that offer that. That's interesting. High performance computing, AWS Parallel Cluster, Elastic Fabric Adapter, and Nice DCV. Okay, I'm going to have to look at these because these sound interesting. Is anyone using these? Anyone in the chat using these? It's probably unlikely. They're probably like super high-end stuff. High performance remote display protocol that provides customers with a secure way to deliver remote desktops and application streaming from any cloud or data center to any device over varying network conditions. This is NICE, Nice DCV. Okay, and Amazon EC2. Customers can run graphics intensive applications remotely on EC2 instances. High performance, optimized cost, flexible deployments, comprehensive security features. Huh. Very cool. All right, what's this? Elastic Fabric Adapter, run HPC machine learning applications at scale. Okay, right. Is a network interface for Amazon EC2 that enables customers to run applications requiring high levels of inter-node communications at scale on AWS. All right, so that's basically essentially creating a high performance cluster, essentially. So if you've got nodes that are needing to transfer data between each other at extremely large rates, then this is what you get. Create, attach, run. Excellent. Parallel cluster, quickly build HPC compute environments. Okay, so how is this different? As an AWS supports open source cluster management tool that makes it easy for you to deploy and manage HPC clusters on AWS. Parallel cluster uses a simple text file to model and provision all the resources needed for your HPC applications in an automated and secure manner. So Matt highlighted something from the probably the FAQ of the Nitro Enclaves. You should use pretty specialized. You should use Nitro Enclaves because it makes it easy to set up and manage isolated compute environments in EC2 to process your highly sensitive data. Nitro Enclaves allows you to create enclaves that are virtual machines attached to EC2 instances that come with no persistent storage, no interactive access, and no external networking. Communication between your instance and your enclave is done using a secure local channel. That is pretty specialized. And if you also know external networking, does that mean you can't go out to the internet? Is that what that's basically saying, do you think? So you can still talk to other AWS services, right? Because if you need data, you need to push it somewhere. But it has a parent virtual machine. Yeah, that is pretty specialized. Yeah. Parallel clusters and high performance computing. I'm pretty aware of that. Yeah, okay. It's interesting that AWS is the only one that sort of offers that. Okay, I can pop off that now, so I don't need to go any further on that. So container registry service, we've got ECR, Azure Container Registry, Infrastructure Registry, and Container Registry. All right, cool. Right, I'm going to skip most of the main stuff. I'm going to look at some of the more interesting stuff down here. It's a pretty cool link, though. It's a pretty cool page. Auto scaling, batch jobs. I wonder if there's anywhere else where another cloud provider really stands out over the other ones. Like, for example, serverless app repository. Again, AWS is the only one that has that. Is there a reason for that? Serverless application repository. Discover, deploy, and publish serverless applications. Okay, so it's a marketplace then, is it? It enables teams, organizers, and individual developers to store and share reusable applications and easily assemble and deploy serverless architectures in powerful new ways. You don't need to clone, package, publish source code to AWS before deploying it. Instead, you can use pre-built applications from the serverless application repository in your serverless architectures. Okay. Each application is packaged with an AWS serverless application model, or a SAM template, that defines the AWS resources used. Okay, publicly shared applications also include a link to the application source code. Nice. There is no additional charge to use the repository. You only pay for the AWS resource used in your applications you deploy. Basically a YML. Yeah, okay. Find and deploy applications for common use. I guess it's the discoverability that makes this kind of thing powerful. Because if you want to build something and someone's already done it, then obviously you should probably adopt that if you can afford the cost of it, rather than trying to reinvent something. It's sort of time to market accelerates quite rapidly if you can use an existing product. Amazon Lightsail, so this is for virtual private servers or VPCs. Yeah, Lightsail. GCP doesn't have anything on that. No, and then the other ones have got a few. Okay. Everyone's got auto scaling. That would make sense. Everyone's got batch jobs, app deployment, event-driven computing, object storage. Yeah, everyone's safe to say everyone's got that. Virtual machine disk storage. With the object storage one, it'll be. I'm still interested to see how Cloudflare's R2 is going to perform versus this, because some people are doing some calculations on that and seeing how there are many companies out there that could save an awful lot of money in the literal hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars per year in AWS S3 bills with transferring data out of AWS. So it's going to be really interesting to see what those egress costs being zero mean for S3. But then it also depends on the sort of stability of R2 and whether it can actually keep up with the sort of uptime promises of S3. Also, SMB compatibility, you've got Elastic, yeah, you've got SFX, you've got FSX, yeah, okay. Everyone seems to have something along those. NAS file storage, okay. Wouldn't be surprised if AWS removes the egress cost for S3, yeah, or like sort of reduces it to the point where moving over just wouldn't be worth the effort. Like the amount of engineering time and effort needed to move to R2 would outweigh the savings. It would like stretch when you get your savings back from R2. So you might, like today, you might say, well, if it costs me $50,000 to move from S3 to R2, but our S3 bill is $1,000, our egress bill is $1,000 a month, then it's costing us $12,000 a year. So we'd only pay $12,000 a year if we stuck with S3, but if we went to R2, we'd pay $50,000 up front, but then we'd save $12,000 a year. So then that's going to be looking at like 4 years before you get to 4.5 to close to 5 years before you then get your bill back, before you get your $50,000 back, and then it's free. But if they then reduced S3 costs down to the point where it went from $1,000 to, it went down to like say $300, then it's like, well, if we pay that money to get it back over and then it's free, then because now the cost of S3 being dropped, it's just not worth the engineering effort to move over. So yeah, it will be interesting to see how S3 actually responds to that. Because from a business perspective, it can, if the price is just low enough, the effort can actually make it so it's just not worth it. Especially given that then when it's in S3, you get, you can trigger lambdas based on objects coming in and stuff. But how are you going to do that with R2? It's R2, I believe, is S3 compatible, but I think there's going to be extra steps necessary in order to be able to then trigger lambdas and have things trigger based on this. And then you've got IAM as well. If you've tightly integrated IAM into your S3 buckets and policies, how does that replicate over into R2? Access control, permission. So it doesn't work for everyone, of course, but it will be interesting. Everyone has a long-term storage option, hybrid storage and storage gateway. Yeah, okay. Okay, so Google doesn't have anything on that. I wish the banner, the top there, with the cloud names would just stay at the top so I don't have to remember what's in each column. But that's okay, it's not a big issue, I guess, but it would be nice. So relational database management service, obviously everyone is going to have something here. I think it's safe to say that Oracle have gone nuts with just every service ever. Interesting. Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner. Cloud Spanner, I thought fully managed relational database at unlimited scale. Oh yeah, that's their yeah, okay. Interesting. I thought Cloud Spanner was something else for some reason. So hang on, what? Let's just compare these two. Okay, fully managed relational database with MySQL SQL Server. Okay, fully managed relational database on limited scale, strong consistency. Oh, so okay, so Cloud Spanner then is going to be the internal engine, relational engine that they built themselves, whereas SQL is an existing SQL engine that's managed for you. So Spanner is Aurora, basically equivalent. Yeah, okay, right. So they've taken something that exists and then basically tuned the crap out of it, basically. Okay, 99, pretty nice. Let's go down. Non-relational databases. So yeah, DynamoDB with Mongo compatibility. DocumentDB. Oh, DocumentDB with MongoDB compatibility. Amazon Keyspaces for Apache Cassandra and Neptune, and then pretty much everyone has a equivalent there. With Azure thrown in a few time series insights. Oh, that's quite nice. So is that a time series database then? Time series. Okay, time series database right underneath. Amazon DynamoDB. TimeStream. Bigtable. Infomix. Yeah, okay. Amazon TimeStream. Fast scalable serverless time series database. I wonder what this is backed by. Does it say? Is it just Prometheus? Amazon TimeStream Safety. I wonder if it's just managed Prometheus. What do you reckon? Who's betting that it's just Prometheus on the back end? Like they did with the Elk stack. They just took it and just like blah, 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 and then never gave any money back. That caused quite a kerfuffle. Holy shit, that paragraph need a new line. What, this one? Amazon TimeStream is a fast, scalable, and serverless time series database serves IoT and operating applications that makes it easy to store and analyze millions of events per day, 1,000 times faster at a little as 1/10 the cost of relational databases. Woo! Amazon TimeStream saves you time and cost money. I think they're all like that, to be honest. But yeah, it is a pretty chunky paragraph. Maybe just a line breaking somewhere in the middle. Excellent. So let's have a look at times. Okay. I think it's probably just Prometheus on the back end. I reckon they would have just taken an open source solution and just stuck it on and stuck a fancy thing in the background. Let's head on over to let's see if we can beat Matt. Matt's probably going through the FAQ now to try and beat me to it. Data availability, security compliance, pricing, performance and scale, data ingestion, data storage. Interesting. It could actually just be literally a bespoke engine. But I do wonder whether they've just taken something that exists. Wouldn't that find help? Oh, I doubt they're just gonna, maybe, but I doubt they're just gonna say, oh, we've just taken Prometheus and put it on the back end. Anyway. In-memory data store, Elasticache, Redis cache, memory cache. Okay, everyone's got one of those. Warehousing, Redshift, Synapse Analytics, BigQuery. Yeah, really looking for things that pop, really. Server migration services. Yeah, okay. AWS server migration, application migration service, and migration hub. And then we got site recovery, Azure Websites Migration Assistant. It's not many. Only a few of them actually offer that kind of service. Small-scale data transfer services, large-scale data transfer services. Oh, yeah, so like Snowball and stuff like that. It's interesting that Azure and Google don't have anything on that. But there you go. Large-scale data transfer. Oh, they have large. Oh, okay. So Snowball, they have Snowcone, Snowball Edge Compute, and Data Sync. So they have something here, transfer appliance and a data. Okay, so they have sort of large scale, terabyte scale. So they don't have petabyte scale, but they do have terabyte scale. Okay. Exabyte scale is the only AWS and IBM Cloud offered that. Okay. Application discovery. Wait. Oh, Julio says wait. What am I waiting for? Yes. Yeah, so large scale data transfer solutions, petabyte scale. So Snowball is where and then terabyte is probably the more common one. Well, it is the more common one. They've all got it. Yeah, Cone is smaller than Ball. Yeah, it is. Cone is smaller. Yeah. Snowcone. Snowcone's like basically like almost like a little hard drive. And Snowball's the big chassis, big like sort of like tower PC. And then a Snowmobile is literally a van, a truck that turns up at your door. Virtual networking, VPC, yeah, they've all got that, obviously. Virtual network connectivity, AWS Transit Gateway, AWS VPC peering. It's very interesting to see that AWS are the only ones with a virtual network connectivity. That's actually surprises me. How does no one else actually have this? Just gonna do that again. I'm kind of surprised by that, actually. VPC connectivity, content delivery, networking delivery. Okay. This list is huge. It's absolutely massive. I'm not going to go through all of this. Wow, look at that. Cloud development tools. There's quite a few there. Okay. Let's flick on through. I think it's safe to say that this is quite a nice resource with regards to comparing the cloud providers. Can you, let's explore the actual page a bit more. No, okay, you can't do any filtering. It'd be really cool if you could just filter by, you could say, I want to look at virtual server hosting or data transfers at this scale, and it could go boop, 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 and just work it out for you and then put them in order of cost or something like that. But it's open source. Yeah, it means it's crap, right? Because it's open source. All right, let's have a look. Let's look at this. Keeson, welcome back to the stream. Yay. Let's have a look what we've got here. So this is called Paperless NG. Paperless, click me, is an application by Daniel Quinn and contributors that indexes your scanned documents and allows you to easily search for documents and store metadata alongside your documents. Yes, so this is quite interesting, Julia, because I was interested in, converting letters that I receive in the post, scanning them, and then putting them into something like this so I can just get rid of the letter. So I can just bin it so I don't have to file the letter itself. It does auto OCR. Yeah, nice. I think it's an interesting idea. Oops. There we go. Okay, Paperless NG is a fork of the original project, adding new interface and many other changes on the HUD. These key points should help you decide whether Paperless NG is something you would prefer over paperless interface encryption, resource usage, and API changes. Okay. So buy a document scanner that can write to a place on your network. If you need some inspiration, have a look at the scanner recommendation pages. Yes, we'll check that out. Set up to scan to FTP or something similar. It should be able to push scanned images to a server without you having to do anything. Of course, if your scanner doesn't know how to automatically upload files somewhere, you can always do that manually. Okay. Wait for the paperless to process your file. OCR is expensive, and depending on the power of your machine, this might take a bit of time. Use the web front end to sift through the database and find what you want. Scroll down for the screenshot. No, we're not going to look at the screenshot now. Now that you've mentioned it, I'm not going to look at it. Okay, we'll look at it. Okay. More screenshots are available in the documentation. I wonder if they have... It'd be good if they have a demo. That would be nice. Just some pre-scanned stuff. Unless they do. They probably do, right? So it can actually show you the original document and then the actual OCR parsing of it. That's a really interesting. It also supports Apache Tika for metadata extraction. Apache Tika. Let's have a look at Apache Tika. Copy that. Copy. Search for Google. Boom. Straight in there, just like bam. Straight into the browser. Love it. Don't know why I did that. Apache Tika toolkit detects and extracts metadata and text from over 1,000 different file types. Well, okay, so you mean like if you're scanning a document, there's going to be no metadata, right? Unless someone gives you a pre-scanned document they've added metadata to. Like if I scan something from my bank, there's not going to be any metadata there unless the scanner's adding metadata. It looks really nice. I like it. I like that you can just search through. This is for paperless, so also add other file types as well. Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Let's have a look at these scanner recommendations. FTP, NFS, SMB, SMTP, API. Do any of them have an API? Okay, Doxy. Doxy can't do anything, but it can do an API. Nice. There's a lot of brothers in here. Which one is the best one, though? Is it this one at the top? Brother. Let's have a look at this product. Brother USA. USA. $269. Okay, up to 25 pages per minute, color scanning, 20 page capacity, auto document feeder, touchscreen display, and wireless connectivity. Excellent. Okay, that's fairly reasonable to go paperless. I mean, it depends on how long this lasts for, because obviously you wouldn't want to put one of these on a landfill every year and it breaks on you. But I can see why it would be important for a business. What's this that's just popped up? Oh, main features. What's this as well? Bloody cookies. Fast scan speed of comment design, handle variety document, automatic clicking your way, easy to save, supports OCR, email, files such as, I wonder if you do the OCR directly on here. Probably really slow, right? Optimize images and text, flexible support, do more with bundled software, portable. Okay, excellent. So the idea then, so how would you use it, Julia? What would be your intended? Would it be, as I said, sort of like scanning your bank statements in and things like that, receipts? Yeah, okay. Excellent. Yeah, that makes sense. Receipts, business receipts would be good, actually. Huh. I wonder if it also have desktop, mobile, CLI apps. You could offer that as a sort of paid service as well to local businesses. They get the right scanner and then they set it up, talks FTP over the net, scans the document in, and then this just indexes it. It'd be probably quite simple to do. You used to work for a company that did that. Okay. How did that work out, Matt? Do they still do it? Right below is the feature set. Features performs OCR on your documents, adds selectable text to images to image-only documents, and adds tags, correspondence, and document types to your documents. Supports PDF documents, images, plain text, and Office documents. Office document support. Paperless stores your documents plain on disk. File names and folders are managed by Paperless, and the format can be configured freely. Single-page application front end. Full text search helps you find what you need. Email processing, machine learning powered document matching. Paperless learns from your, if it ran powerless, that would be amazing. No power, just green, just like negative power, that'd be amazing. Paperless learns from your documents and will be able to automatically assign tags, correspondence, and types to documents once you've stored a few documents in. Paperless optimized for multi-core systems and integrated sanity check and make sure that your documents archive is good health. This is really interesting because I've actually got servers here. I've actually got 5 quad-core Ryzen servers here with like 16 gig of RAM in, a couple of SSDs, a couple of NVMe drives. I've got 6. I've actually got 6, and one of them's got a GTX 1060 in as well. Not the GPU is going to matter here, I don't think. But very interesting, because I think that let's have a look. Yeah, really popular. Schools, governments, etc. have so much paper, so it needs OCR management with auditing. It's a whole thing with heaps of compliance. When you say heaps of compliance, do you mean that to implement a service like that, you've got to comply? Or do you mean the government agency / school has to do it for compliance? Or both? I'd imagine it's probably both, right? If a law firm's sending you stuff, you've probably got to have... Yeah, right. Since most law firms require searchable electronic documents. I know about... Yeah, we've got a client who's a law firm. Yeah, okay, interesting. Oh, paperless app on the mobile. Updated work papers. So this like lets you search. Access all your scanned documents review. Yeah, okay. Audit trails, PDFs, etc. So it can be admissible in court, yeah. It provides the following functionality. Scan documents using smartphone camera with paper detection. Securely saves your credentials so you can log in. Full text search, custom order. So you could even actually get to the point where they don't use an actual scanner. They just use an app. F-Droid. Interesting. Give them a tablet, iOS. The code is the app run on iOS as well. However, I do not plan to release this app for iOS store since I do not have an iOS device. You can just use cloud server. It's not an excuse these days. A Mac, which just needs to compile incorrect. An Apple development quotas. Wow, $99. Jeez, breaking the bank there. You probably spend that a month on coffee. And those scanners are crazy fast. Canon, I think, is the brand they used to use. And push it. So yeah, they can be. Yeah, buy your stuff, scan the receipt on the spot, and push it to the server. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. Julia, when are you planning on implementing it? Because I think I'd be interested in that as well. I think it's a really, really cool idea. I'm going to keep that window open because that's really, really cool. All right, we're going to go to news.ycombinator.com. No, we're not. What am I talking about? We're going to go to, I got my VS Code. We're going to go to my VS Code. Yeah, here we go. All right, so probably tomorrow, hackernews.com. Is that what I went to? Where's my VS Code? So I need to implement some policies for EKS. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it right now. Okay, my browser over here. So this is a little bit of bit more hands-on stuff. This is sort of what I want to do on the Wednesday stream, really, is actually implement something, but still planning the sort of business plan around that, the sort of flow, doing the DevOps roadmap to sort of make sure it's all aligned and we're sort of on the same page and doing the same thing between streams and the professional videos, as well as the book, as well as the stuff on YouTube, etc. They all seem to be, all need to sort of be aligned around the same stuff. So EKSCTL, I'm going to pop over to eksctl.io and I'm going to look at the requirements for IAM. So permissions boundary minimum IAM policies. Okay, this document describes the minimum IAM policies needed to run the main use cases of EKSCTL. These are the ones used to run the integration tests. Okay, remember to replace account ID with your own. An AWS managed policy is created and administered by AWS. You cannot change the permissions defined in an AWS managed policy. That is correct. Okay, so you need Amazon EC. Oh, let's. Because my client that I use to talk to AWS doesn't have the ability to do IAM related stuff. Let's have a think. What does it need to do? I'm actually happy for EKSCTL to do everything, build everything necessary, and leave it outside of Terraform, because it at least uses CloudFormation, so it's at least as code. Although I consider CloudFormation to be as code, really, as YAML. But trying to think how I can go about giving my user permissions it needs, because we essentially give our standard users administrator access. Now that's the administrator access. Is as code as a drunk guy and at a fight, pretty much. That's pretty much correct. Let's have a look. Super wish lists. Let's go to users. So I've got my _u_user. I've got over this in the past, but it's essentially AWS organizations, master account, and then an OU called projects, and then under that, a super wish list account. And then inside of that, I create a fresh IAM user, which I then use to log in. But I actually have switched to AWS SSO, and as a result, that's not really. JBW, thanks, mate. See you later. He popped out before I could say goodbye. But thanks for showing up. Really do appreciate it. I'm just going to log into my AWS account. Boom. Let me see what I've got to do here. Which one have I got to go into? If I go to this one over here, that should, yeah, okay, it's going to go to the correct page. Username, no. Accounts to show. All right, okay. Let's have a look. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just going to update my 1Password to use the correct web address. Think, save. All right, cool. Let's refresh that. There it is. So I'm using the AWS SSO sign-in, which you obviously can't see for, well, obvious reasons, really, related to the old security. And then I'm going to, oops, the data changed on me. Grab the relevant credentials. So if I go here, and I go command line of programmatic access, okay. Use of the following options, yeah, PowerShell, add crypto profile, click to copy this text, use individual values for AWS service client. Are they generated in real time? What's the LUH? I'm just checking something. Sorry guys, 1 second. LUH. I refresh. I wonder if they're generated dynamically. Yeah, they are. Wow. Okay. Very interesting. Give me a second. I'm just going to pop you over there like that. And I'm going to go cat. Okay, and I'm just going to copy that. Alrighty, main, and then profile. Just going to do that. And I'm just going to test something. Plan requires a config to be present. Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong bloody thing, that's why. It's going to see what happens here. Cool, so that actually successfully connected with those credentials as expected. All right, cool. So VS Code. So what I've done is I've used SSO. I've logged into my SSO, and then I've gone and got credentials for administrator access to the super wishlist account using the command line or pragmatic access link. I can't show that because obviously it shows sensitive information. In a video on YouTube I could, because I could delete it after the fact. It's obviously pre-recorded. What I'd have to do here on the stream is put a delay on the stream of like 5-10 minutes, do it, and then go in and refresh them and delete them. But essentially, as you can see sort of here, or maybe you can't see because it's not very zoomed in, is I've generated a profile. It's randomly generated. I've added it to my Terraform, and then a command has confirmed that there are no changes to the plan. So it just clicked in my head that A, AP is Asia Pacific and B is not called AU. Yeah, Asia Pacific is, because it's Asia Pacific's like Australia and the whole of Asia and the Pacific Ocean, right? It's all of that kind of region. Asia Pacific. So if I could use this profile with EKACC. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's go to project. So that's the overall Terraform code. That profile will actually be dead in the water by the time I come around. So I'll just leave that as is. And then if I go AWS EKS super wishlist, EKS clusters, we open up this one instead. Connected to host. Come on, go away. Thank you. Right, okay, so we've got our cluster in here. That infrastructure directory can now be deleted because that's now been handled by the Terraform we've just seen. We don't need that anymore. We don't need to update today. Let's ignore that. So API cluster kind. All right, so we want to look at this. Let's do environment dev EKS. I don't want to call it superwishlist dev. I think I just want to call it, I'm just going to call it development. I'm just going to call the cluster development for now, because I want to just play around with it, and then I'll stand up a different cluster that's essentially becomes production ready. So let's have a look at the actual, let me get this over here so that I can not be rude and share this with you peeps, so you can see what I'm looking at. So let's go over to IAM usage. Okay, let's go usage clusters. Config file schema. All right. Util schema, kind, metadata. Okay, region. So if we look at, whoops. What? Strange. That was weird. Okay, metadata name and then region. So contains general cluster information, name of the cluster, the AWS region, the version. Okay, the default is 1.21. Okay, so tags, annotations, Kubernetes, network config. So IAM, service role, ARN. Okay, so it's going to be the IAM top level stuff that we're going to need here. And then we're going to need to do role, ARN, service account, metadata, permissions. Shouldn't I just be able to specify a profile? Oh, I missed that. Okay, I think that's just for the IAM. I think that's for configuring the IAM stuff, VPC stuff. Okay. Maybe it was a metadata. Arbitrary metadata ignored. Tags. How do I get it to use? It must be a command line flag. maybe to specify the actual IAM profile, to use the local configuration profile. There's your node group stuff. Yeah, so there's all your instance role ARM, so you can really, really configure all of that kind of stuff. Yep, there's a lot there. Manage node groups, yeah. And then we've got Fargate profiles, availability zones, CloudWatch, secret encryption, Git. Okay, Git. Okay. We've worked at Git exposes configuration Flux v1 and an early iteration of GitOps, but that's now deprecated. So what's it going to be replaced with then? Because I kind of actually want that. GitOps deprecation. The EKS tool provides users a handy way to set up GitOps in their cluster with the EKS-CTL enable repo command. Flux1, blah, blah, blah. GitHub's mechanism deployment has been in maintenance mode since October 2020. The team have been working hard on V2, which is very exciting, so we want to get to that. This is still open. Oh, I see. Okay. It means we have integrated alongside now deprecated GitOps configure. Okay. In Flux v2. So, that's actually merged. Breaking C issue. Oh, okay. Initial part of Flux expansion proposal, which tackle a majority of changes, breaking all configuration previously exposed for Flux v2 removed, replaced with arbitrary map string. That's a Go. That's Go terminology. So that's a map where the key is a string and the value is a string. This will let users bootstrap however they want. Okay, cool. The examples, 12 GitOps toolkit. Okay, let's just check that out for a second. Examples 12. So they're doing metadata, they're doing node groups, then they're doing GitOps Flux, Git provider, GitHub, flags, owner, repository, private, branch, namespace, path, team. Okay, that's definitely something I'm going to have to explore going forward, because GitOps is definitely how I want to manage this cluster. So it's really nice to see that EKS-CTL will actually just plug straight on in. All right, cool. Well, while we've only got about 10 minutes left of the stream, let me just see if I can skip that and just get it to use my thingy to GitOps. Oh, okay. There we go. Exposes configuration for Flux v2 and will continue to be used in future plans. Okay. So you go to GitOps rather than this one up here, which is just Git. Okay, that's really, really cool. Let's look at the command line usage. Let's actually just go to, let's go here. Okay, let's go to EKS-CTL. Help. As well help. So let's go create cluster. And let's see what flags we've got here. So we've got name, we've got tags, we've got region, we've got zones, we've got version, we've got config file. Yeah, obviously Fargate. Whether we want to use Fargate, we don't. Initial node flags. I think it's just called profile. I think we went over this last time, and I think it was just profile. Yeah, it is. Okay. EKS-CTL create cluster let's think. Yep. And then -- profile. And then I don't remember what I have in the buffer here. Whoops daisy. Okay, let's go back to 1 second. What's that profile name? Why can't I do? Oh, there we go. So the profile is that underscore administrator access. All right, that takes time to build, but I'll report back on that in the next stream. But hopefully, because I'm just using the administrator one now, it should just go ahead and build the development cluster. So EKS-CTL will build out the CloudFormation, and then it'll then push that CloudFormation as a CloudFormation stack, and then it will build it. Now, if I actually pop into the management console here, and then I go over to this one here, we can actually just pop into here, and we can go to CloudFormation, and we can see it in action. That's a stack, not a stacked set. Wrong region. Let's head on over to Sydney. There it is. So create in progress. So we pop in here and have a look at the resources that it creates. It's quite a lot, but it's doing a lot of work for us. If I get my stupid head out the way, there we go. You can see the resources. So the cluster shared node. It's creating a security group ingress, just a type of rule. Welcome Fatal. Welcome to the stream, mate. We got NAT gateways. Okay. Private route tables, quite a lot going on in here. Subnets. That's not all of them neither. 23. Yeah, I was going to say there's got to be more than that. Way more than that. So it's creating an EKS cluster. Nice. Okay, that usually takes about 10-15 minutes to deploy. Well, look, there's about 5 minutes left, everyone. Is there anything that you would like me to answer or look at? Any links around it? Julio, thanks very much for the cloud comparison link and the paperless link. As usual, providing awesome content to review on the stream. Really do appreciate that. Does anyone have anything else that we want to look at all? Or are we all happy? Are we all sated? Definitely need to get the roadmap up and running and get that going. ASAP. It is something that I am working at. I've got a deadline, which I'm on target for. And once it's in place, the streams, these Wednesday streams specifically, will take a much more structured approach. And then maybe even in the future, I'll introduce additional streams. But yeah, this is what we're looking at going forward. All right, let's see what we're looking at on the command line here. Plumbing stack, waiting for CloudFormation stack. Yep, that makes perfect sense. So that actually takes quite a bit of time. So all this networking stuff, I don't know whether I should go through. I don't know whether I should go through. I don't know whether I should go through configuring all the networking stack, or whether I should just leave EKS CTL to just manage that for me. I guess my use case is really, really simple. So I could just let it do most of the work for me. What's this? No, I'm on the wrong side. You're making me do, Julio, and just all over the place. Okay. Simple design for generating Terraform configuration for existing CloudFormation templates. This doesn't convert directly from CF to TF. Okay, this node CLI tool is used for generating both Terraform configuration files as well as Terraform state so that you can use Terraform to manage CloudFormation templates. Okay. It does not generate Terraform configuration for the individual resources CloudFormation provisions. It generates an AWS CloudFormation stack resource so that you can manage your existing CloudFormation stacks with Terraform instead of or in conjunction with the AWS console and CLI. Okay, well let's go and double check. Correct. It allowed Terraform to manage onward of CFN stack that you get created. Okay, provide a CloudFormation stack resource. I think I get it. Template body. So it generates a template body with all of this stuff in it by reading what exists inside the stack. Is that right? Structure containing the template body, template URL, capabilities, disable rollback, notification ARNs, on failure, parameters, policy body, tags, iron role. Okay. That's kind of interesting. So then once you've done the import, I assume then, because you're managing it with Terraform state, what you can then do is write Terraform code to then add to the stack. Is that the idea? Am I understanding that correctly? Bah. Yeah, or change the parameter or start the migration process. So inside of the state, because you've got the CloudFormation stack inside of your state, does that mean you've got all the individual resources inside of your state? Interesting. I don't understand why it does that. You should have the CFN body at least. Okay. Still going, 32 resources. Or CFN S3 URL. Yeah, I think I get it. trying to think how you then migrate over. Because if you wanted Terraform to manage all of those actual individual resources, would this be better than doing an import? Would it actually offer a better option than doing an import of the individual stuff and then using the state show command to get a cheeky HCL code generation process going? I did often think that you could make the Terraform import process easier if you just had a small tool that could read a YAML file in which you defined all of your resources. So you went through your AWS UI, you got all the ARNs, the things, you organized them, structured, you put them in this some kind of arbitrary structure that then the tool could read and then call Terraform import commands for you, as well as Terraform state show commands on the imported resource, outputting the result to a file for you. I think that would be a nice way of doing it. Import would do similar, but one thing to keep in mind is that the newer version of TF have the issue that it start putting sensitive on values even in Terraform show and Terraform state show. You mean, so if the value is a sensitive value, you don't see it anymore? Is that what you mean? So it won't. It'll just put sensitive in there. I think when I do a Terraform import, which is rare, I tend to assume that what I've imported and the code I'm going to get from it isn't ready to actually be used yet. Like you need to go in and tweak things. Like it contains the ID and the ARN of the resources, and you obviously don't want that in there. So I take out the stuff that's sort of computed. Obviously, you understand what I mean by computed from a Terraform perspective, but that's what I do. Is I go in and I remove the computed values and strip down the HCL that gets generated. That's how I would approach that. But okay, that's an interesting one. Right, okay, well, that is it for today. That's all we have time for. I really appreciate everyone coming along. Thanks again, Julio, for these awesome links. The cluster is obviously still ticking along, so what I might do on the next Wednesday, DevOps rocks! It does rock. The best. Is get this cluster going beginning of the stream or even before the stream so that we can come straight in. And then I'm going to start looking at doing the GitOps stuff, get that integrated with a repository, and then just see that sort of going through and working, and then learn how to then start writing some manifests to actually get some basics. I'm going to have to refresh myself on Kubernetes a lot because it's been probably close to a year now since I've actually gone and done anything on this, just because my clients don't have me doing it. Why not create a radio station that'll loop your audio podcasts for DevOps stuff? Why not create a radio station that'll loop your audio? I don't have any podcasts. Maybe DevOps rocks audio podcast for DevOps. Do you mean like DevOps music or something? Like DevOps rocks music? Really confused. All right, keep typing. I'm going to go anyway. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming. Next stream will be on Sunday. We'll be looking at cloud news, security news, and some interesting articles, and so on and so forth. Toodle pipski.
Very nice.